Ever feel like the system is rigged against you? What if I told you it's not just a feeling, it's by design? Behind every bank denial, every stalled raise, there is a hidden code. An invisible algorithm dictating your fate without your knowledge. Today, we pull back the curtain on that malicious code. We expose how education, banking, and media conspire to keep you locked in poverty. And we show you how to fight back, hack the system, and reclaim your financial freedom. Are you ready to break the code? Imagine an invisible engine humming beneath your everyday institutions. In banks, unseen scripts decide your credit score. In schools, automated filters sort students into predetermined tracks. On social platforms, opaque algorithms choose which news you see. Every click, every transaction, every test score feeds a data pipeline, and that pipeline runs on biases. Credit models are 5 to 10% less accurate for minority borrowers. Automated educational systems steer marginalized students away from advanced classes. Media algorithms trap you in echo chambers that reinforce your existing beliefs. Wage growth stalls because policy frameworks serve corporate bottom lines, not living wages. These aren't isolated glitches. They're systemic by design, written into the code to maintain power structures. When you pair flawed datasets with unregulated machine logic, you get outcomes that disproportionately punish the most vulnerable. What if I told you that every time you swipe your card or click a link, you feed that code? And every time you apply for a promotion using a resume checker, that same algorithm judges your potential. It assesses your past, not your future. And when predictions go wrong, consequences hit individuals who can least afford mistakes. Let's dig deeper into credit scoring. At first glance, a number feels objective, but the algorithm behind that number relies on incomplete and often biased data. Traditional scoring models prioritize credit history, length, account diversity, payment timeliness. On paper, it sounds fair. In reality, it punishes those without generational wealth. Minority borrowers and low-income households often lack extensive credit records. That absence is treated as risk, not context. Studies show these models are 5% to 10% less accurate for these groups. The result? Higher interest rates and more denials. You might think that adding more data could fix it, but if that data reflects historical inequality, the algorithm simply magnifies injustice. Imagine your only credit line is a phone contract. The system ignores it because it values older financial products. The result? You stay trapped in high-cost lending cycles, payday loans, prepaid cards, subprime mortgages. Each transaction feeds the flawed code, reinforcing the assumption that you're uncreditworthy. Meanwhile, the banks profit. Fees and penalties fund new layers of algorithmic defenses. They block thin-file borrowers, arguing they safeguard financial stability. But that stability has a hidden cost, widening the gap between the haves and have-nots. This code is not neutral. It was written by people with power, funded by institutions that benefit from inequality. And yet, the narrative shifts blame to individuals. Just pay on time, build credit history, reduce your debt. These become personal failings, conveniently forgetting that everyone plays within rules they didn't set. To break free, we must first recognize that credit scoring is just a program, and programs can be rewritten. Alternative data could include rent payments, utility bills, consistent savings, and community references. These metrics often tell a more accurate story of financial responsibility for underbanked populations. In some jurisdictions, policymakers are exploring sandbox environments that test new models before broad rollout. But these pilots are small and underfunded. We need large-scale commitment. We need open-source scoring models where third-party experts can verify fairness. And we need consumer rights to challenge their own scores with easy dispute processes. When you discover an error in your credit file, correcting it can become a bureaucratic nightmare. Letters go unanswered, phone calls redirected, and sometimes you give up. That's by design too. Friction increases attrition. The longer you struggle, the more likely you accept the status quo. But you don't have to. Tools exist for free credit monitoring. Non-profits offer dispute assistance. Community lenders are experimenting with peer underwriting, where neighbors vouch for each other's reliability. These grassroots initiatives show us a path ahead. They hack the old code with new values: transparency, fairness, accountability. And they remind us that algorithms can evolve. They can learn from holistic data. They can promote growth instead of gatekeeping. That shift begins with awareness, because you can't change what you can't see. Next, education. Believe it or not, your academic journey is also dictated by hidden lines of code. Automated enrollment platforms filter applicants. Standardized testing algorithms assign schools with uneven resources. Learning management systems personalize study paths. All these tools promise efficiency, but when the data reflects historical privilege, efficiency becomes exclusion. Students from affluent zip codes tend to have test scores that fit the benchmark algorithm. That nudge pushes them toward advanced placement classes. Meanwhile, schools in underfunded districts see entrance thresholds set marginally higher. The result? Limited access to gifted programs. From there, scholarship offers, internships, even college admissions follow a path carved by coded assumptions. The algorithm assumes you come from one background, so it feeds you certain opportunities. And that assumption becomes self-fulfilling. You never meet peers who challenge you. You never discover resources to level up. And the system tells you, quietly, that you don't belong. But it's not your brain or your ambition holding you back. It's the software. We have the power to rewrite that. Open source educational tools. Scholarships awarded by blind committees. Peer mentoring networks that bypass automated filters. These are hacks to subvert the status quo. Then there's media manipulation. Every social feed you scroll through is tailored by algorithms designed to maximize engagement, not truth. They track your clicks, your watch time, your likes. They analyze who you are and what you fear. Then they serve you more of the same. The result? Echo chambers that reinforce biases. Silent pressure shapes your beliefs, steers your opinions, and influences your actions. When you're trapped in these digital booths, genuine dialogue becomes scarce. You don't see alternative perspectives. You don't question assumptions. You drift toward extremes. That's the code at work. Finally, wage stagnation. You hear that wages haven't budged for decades. You might think it's market equilibrium, but policies and corporate practices design that stagnation. Automated compensation systems benchmark salaries against a narrow peer group. Cost of living adjustments are tied to indices that lag real inflation. Annual bonuses shift from merit to algorithmic performance metrics. When your efforts exceed that invisible bar, the system resets its baseline upward, keeping you just below the threshold for salary hikes. And behind that threshold sits an entire architecture of HR algorithms and finance spreadsheets determined to optimize profits over people. These are the rules of the code, written in spreadsheets and enforced by compliance protocols. Breaking free requires shining a light on them, demanding living wages, transparent pay structures, collective bargaining rights. It's time to decompile the wage software and inject fairness back into the equation. All these algorithms credit education, media, wages. They share a common DNA. They run on data engineered to preserve established hierarchies. But code is not destiny. Code can be audited, refactored, redeployed. We, the users, are the ultimate stakeholders. When we demand algorithmic transparency, we reclaim power. When we build community-led alternatives, we subvert the monopoly of injustice. When we vote for policies that enforce fairness audits, we reprogram society's foundations. This is not a fight for the privileged few. It's a universal call to arm ourselves with knowledge and collective action, because only informed and united citizens can break the code of poverty once and for all. So, here's your next move. Educate yourself about the hidden algorithms shaping your life. Question every automatic decision. Support organizations pushing for transparent, fair algorithms. Join online forums that analyze algorithmic bias. Participate in community data reviews. Lobby your representatives for algorithmic accountability legislation. Share this knowledge with everyone you know. Remember, the system only remains rigged if we stay silent. Your voice is the key that unlocks the code. It's time to break free from these hidden algorithms. Educate yourself, question the systems, and take control of your financial future.